Innovative.
It's your man, Deshaun Showtime Watkins.
It's the ignorant one, Shiloh Greaves.
And I'm cool ass Cam, the coolest motherfucker on the planet.
Woolsey, listen, what's the deal? Welcome to season 3, episode 2 for the culture of Comptonmania. Woolsey, woo. Now, guys, we told y'all last week that we were going to talk more about what happens behind the scenes. But before we go into what we got going on, your ignorance. You saw a tweet that sent you. How would you say this tweet or these tweets made you? What kind of feeling did you get from it?
A feeling of understanding. It was, it's our friend Ricochet.
Hey, Ricochet is dope.
Yeah.
I seen Ricochet at Lucha Homies.
Really?
Yeah, that was really awesome. Super
wow.
dripped out. I mean, this dude got all the skills. Ricochet is super sick. But what's happening, Shiloh? What's happening?
So Ricochet's letting us know his feelings on how WWE treats indie talent.
Now, hold on. Before you say this, I'm noticing his name is Light Skin Kingpin. Is he part of the Cams and the Shilohs? Is that your other brother? What's this?
It's an army.
The Light Skin Army.
But we don't all see things the same.
The
Coalition of Light Skin.
We have no choice. But, he's letting us know, how he feels about WWE and their treatment of talent that built their name through the independent circuit. So, they've always been a system that liked to home grow their talent.
Right.
And whenever you're somebody that got over in another company, whether you were in TNA or WCW or, these days you got over in PWG, like one of the bigger indies, they're kind of like, okay, they may feel the need to knock that talent down a rung. It's weird. It's like a weird thing that they've always done over time. So I kind of do understand what he's getting at with that. But at the same time,
let's read some of the tweets before
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. Please.
No, I thought you gonna read it, right?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. I thought okay. So you said let's. Okay. So I'm like okay.
Like he was about to help or something.
Yeah. I'm like, all right. He's just talking about the same thing happens to Balor, Shinsuke, Apollo, and many others. WWE kills legacies and the love of the sport. It's what they do best. I guess he's replying to somebody else. He says, I do feel this way, and many others do as well. That company kills the love, and you end up being a shell of who you were and going through the motions. And, I have kind of seen some of the guys that came from the indies just be like, okay, I'm just getting my check now. I'm just here. And the guys that he listed, they kind of fall into that category where it's like, I'm just here, pin me, pay me. Yeah, and here's the thing. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. And that's where I think you see the clash of agendas happen. Ricochet's a guy that took his art very seriously, maybe a little too seriously, serious to his detriment.
Is that like when you take your art too seriously? Expound on that more, a little bit, or
taking the art too seriously. So it's to the point where you get to the job that everybody wants, right? Everybody wants to go to WWE, right? So it's like you get there and you almost forget where you're at. You're taking the gourmet chef and you're putting him into more of a franchise. And the franchise may want something more simple. The franchise wants a different...
They're watering you down.
And the thing is, the watering down, whether a lot of these guys want to acknowledge it or not, sometimes the watering down does lead to more money because some of these guys' presentations are too complicated, especially in the ring. The way some of these guys wrestle, it's too fast for primetime TV, and you see it with AEW. They put on these 5-star classics every week, but it's like they're still trying to break 1 million views to average 1 million. So it's very...
a lot of different things play a part in that, though, I think. WWE is a household name.
Very much so.
It is.
Yes, very much.
AEW, to a certain extent, right? It is a household name, but not like WWE is. We look back, right? WCW was right there.
It was.
Right.
But it took years for them to grow to become that household name.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know, even before they was WCW, they was Jim Crockett Promotion.
They was in the South. Yeah.
But I feel
Wrestling.
like that had a legacy behind it, you know?
Yes.
With territories and things like that, they had legacies behind it. You know, when WCW came up, it was a legacy behind it. And I was going to go back to what you were saying about how certain guys, they make it to WWE and forget where they at. It was WWE guys back then that was jumping ship, going to WCW, right? And they forgetting where they at because they getting that check.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But, you know, they wasn't getting matches. They wasn't getting screen time. The screen time they was getting was coming out in the NWO shirt.
Absolutely. Yep. Very much
Facts.
so.
But they not wrestling no more. You know what I'm saying? They just there on TV.
With the NWO shirt.
So I compare that to today's times where we're looking at indie wrestlers coming in and, well, like we say, they're being stripped away of certain things that make them who they are. You know, it makes them that athlete. If they can't go out and perform these high flying moves and these types of things that you said, you know, like you said, are too fast for primetime TV, then, you know, what outlet is available for them to be able to go out and do that? Because, you know, like, it should be something there.
And I do think that's where that system challenges guys more. It's very much so. They want entertainers. They want people that have a pop culture appeal. And I think that I'm going to go as far as to say like 99% of indie wrestlers do not have that pop culture appeal, even the highest level ones that are getting signed. So when you put them into that mainstream environment, they don't. And, you know, it's almost like it's like music too. You know, you get signed to the big label, they want a certain song, you know, but they're just like, no, but I'm a lyrical genius. They're like, we don't want to hear that genius right now. We want
that was the
the
new
beat.
generation era, right?
Yeah.
The Diesel and the Shawn Michaels and all of that, right? Because that's, you wanted what was cool. You wasn't looking for the characters anymore. What we're not looking for, you know, the clowns and the plumbers and the the garbage man and like those are the characters that they was putting out that Vince was just throwing out there to have everybody be something different.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You have a Royal Rumble and you don't want to have two characters that look the same. Now you got a little bit of everything out there, all these different occupations.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got Chainsaw Charlie running around.
Chainsaw Charlie was a shit.
I
love Chainsaw.
So let's look at this tweet right here. He says, many discovered me at a time where my talents and legacy were being taken advantage of by a company that didn't really care about me. However, more people have been following me since before WWE and appreciate what they know I can bring and what I can do, no longer want to watch. So I think... So I discovered Ricochet from Lucha Underground. And here's the funny thing. Lucha Underground set up a system for him where he didn't need to talk. They had him wrestling under the mask as Prince Puma. So that's kind of, it's interesting, you know, and that's the one thing. It goes back to that WWE challenge. They want guys to talk. And you kind of look at the people that he listed. You look at his record on a microphone, and this is where you got to get kind of real. It's like, okay, have any of those guys really set the world on fire with a microphone? No. And that's what WWE needs. They need those entertainers. And that's what happens is these indie guys think they're going to go into a WWE system thinking they're going to apply their art. They're thinking they're going to have that same match that they had at Progress Wrestling in England over there on Monday Night Raw. You know, it just doesn't, it's not going to work like that. So it leaves a lot of guys disappointed because they show up at the door with an image in their head of what's going to happen. And here's the thing. I don't think it's their fault entirely because they're getting promised a lot probably at the door. They're probably being like, oh, we're going to do this, this, and that. You know, it's like, I think it's just, it goes back to, you know, remember this is wrestling. You got to take everything with a grain of salt.
It's people making the deals in the offices and things like that we not really hearing about. We just see the person on TV.
Right.
Absolutely. Yes.
So yeah, man. I think that's like a real good point that he was making. You know, just
With the talking.
Yeah, with the talking, you gotta have mic skills.
You gotta work on it.
If not, then it goes back to wrestling used to have managers, and the managers would do the talking for. You would have these monstrous heels. The heel of the month that's going up against Hogan, and at the next pay-per-view he was gonna wrestle him for the championship, but Hogan would always come out on top because he's the eat your vitamins, the good guy, the hero. Same way we always hear all the stories, but they would always
like managers in the past, like Slick, like Jimmy Hart.
Slick. Oh yeah,
Jimmy Hart was really good. Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Oh man.
I like Paul Heyman. I mean,
I like Sherry.
Sherry was awesome.
Yeah,
Sherry was awesome.
She was good.
There was Sweet Sapphire.
Sweet Sapphire. Sapphire.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I think even being a manager is an art because everyone can't do that neither. Going back to the talking, it's kind of similar how I feel with Comptonmania with the promos. I feel like wrestlers should cut promos, and you should do multiple, and you should work on your promos. If you just only working on your in-ring skills, you're losing everybody because you're not selling the match.
Yeah.
Like you have to sell the match. You're going up against so-and-so. Why is it important? Why should people come out and see it?
Speaking of selling, right?
Yes.
Selling is a real big term in the world of wrestling. But as an indie wrestler, this is just a random question. I know it wasn't a topic. How important do you think it is as an indie wrestler to be able to market and sell yourself to other companies to be able to get work? Because right here, it seems like, I don't know if it's just him or maybe it's other wrestlers who feel like they get to a certain level, right? Where they want people to just do the booking for them. They get a check and they know this is my guarantee. I'm comfortable. I'm here. You know what I'm saying? But I can't even say that you comfortable because it's so much in the wrestling world where we hear, oh, they just cut half the roster or they just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But how important do you feel like it is? Because you're not just selling moves. You're not just selling, you're selling yourself as a package. Like,
yes.
Why should y'all book me for your show? Like that type of deal. I feel like I don't really see too many wrestlers do that. They don't have like a package put together, like even for artists, right? If you get ready to go on a media run, you got to have an EPK, all this, the press kit, all that type of stuff put together. Clean versions, DJ versions of your music, all that. But I just see wrestlers come, they got their boots, their gear.
Well, no, and here's my thing. I'm glad you bring up highlight videos because a lot of these highlight videos are turning into like a lot of these rap music videos. They're all doing the same thing. These rappers, they got the same girl on their arm, they got the same gun in the other arm, they got the same cup of lean in front of them. It's the whole, and these wrestlers, when they do their highlight videos, they're doing the same Canadian Destroyer, they're doing the same dive out. It's like, when I do my highlight videos, there's like half of those videos I'm not even in the ring. It's like I'm at the mayor's office or I'm doing something, or just at the airport,
promos.
Yeah, like there's just all sorts of different locations to where it's like, okay, like that highlight looks like more of an adventure, to where it's like these guys, like they're not filming those segments, they're not doing that, and it's.
I could say I put a highlight tape together for a wrestler before. I want to say it was 2 highlight tapes for the same wrestler, and he told me he had a trial for AEW, and he needed something put together, so he sent me all his matches. And I went through and I watched all his matches, and I had to cut out the parts that I felt like were the highlighted parts of those matches, like the moves, the you know what I'm saying, like the high impact stuff that if I'm just a fan watching wrestling, this is what I would want to see in a match, like that type of stuff. So put the music behind it, all that, but cut it up, made it match. All the slams, all the hits is matching to the beat.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But I don't really see a lot of wrestlers that go out and do stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's
like you say, a lot of them are starting to look like rap videos.
Yeah, it's very, and then you have a lot of wrestlers that they're just sending it to the boys in the back, like, here, edit this for me. So it's like, and also a lot of wrestlers aren't that financially sound, so they're not willing to pay for that stuff too. Right. And that's the thing, like wrestling is very much an investment from everything, from your marketing to your gear to your body. Like that's something I always came up short on, gear and body. I could totally admit that, you know, like
you
that's
come
something.
in with your gear for the first you're just like, yeah, I got some gear now.
Yeah, no, and that was my first time. Like, God, I think I was on like year 15, and it was
Custom,
funny.
though.
No, and it was funny though because just coming into the business, I was always asking my trainers. I'd be like, "What type of gear do you want me in?" You know, and they'd be like, "Just come out in street clothes." And I'd be like, "What?" They'd be like, "You don't need gear." And I'd be like, "What do you mean?" Like they'd just be like, "You're authentic. Just be you." And it's funny because like it worked at least when I had the bells and whistles of their production behind me, but it's like when I hit the actual indies, you know, it's like that was hard to get over.
You go to Compton, you look like somebody in the streets.
Exactly,
that just came into the
exactly, man, and that's
you
where
give
it's
everybody that hope though that they can go out and do it too.
Yeah,
and I think that's what's
see you like
changing. That's what's changing about wrestling. You know, now it's definitely shifting from, of course, you know, be in shape, have that body, have that basic level sex appeal, but still, like, you need to, like, it's more natural now. The world is more natural. It's turning to a more just authentic state.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. A good conversation. I just had a random question.
No,
you know?
I think that was
Absolutely.
fantastic.
I felt
think
like it tied into what
it definitely did.
Absolutely.
It definitely did. It's just like for me personally, I would like to see people in the indies cut more promos. Like I don't care if you got 4 shows in 1 week. You need to cut a promo for every show you doing, and don't be leaving a promoter like waiting for the last minute and saying you're going to do it and then don't do it. That is irritating because we over here putting stuff together, you know, and you can't even give me a promo. Like,
And
what are
one
we
thing-
talking about?
One thing personally, to piggyback off that, I'm actually I'm a little sick of promos. I'm sick of seeing just the guy set up the phone, bam, he's standing wherever, he's sitting wherever, he's in, and I've been guilty of it. You know, I've definitely, you know, so I, you know, and it's like, yeah, like, and he's just cutting like the basic, you know, deal right there. It's like, I think what I would like more of is more dialogue between characters.
That would be dope too.
That's what's needed more of, is that dialogue between characters. I think that, you know, that I'm going to see you at this event, at this venue, blah, blah. It's like, okay, like every company does that. And that's where it's like, and that's where I think that investment of time is very important. And I notice in LA in particular, it's very hard to get people's time because everyone, you know, it's a very different culture out here. So I feel like getting guys together to actually film those segments and get them in depth too, that's rare to find.
Yeah, definitely. What would you say on show days?
Oof.
What is the most stressful? Let's start with Cam. What is the most stressful thing you have to deal with on show days?
All right, so we was gonna talk about my most stressful time.
Yeah.
We were in El Monte doing the gym work fest, and it was a real hot day.
Yep. Like 112 or something.
It felt like it out there.
It was like literally 1.
And it's crazy because even being under the tent, you know, the sun moves, so you know the shades start moving. And at one point, my laptop was just sitting directly in the sun.
Ugh.
And it started overheating, shit started glitching out, and I'm like, man, what can we do? And everybody started looking around, and shout out to Jinx, man, because Jinx came through. He was like, man, you got to get some ice. He was real, like, we panicking low-key. He low-key was panicking with me, but in the most calmest voice ever, he was like, man, you got to get a bag of ice. Who got some ice over here? We started going to all the vendors. We went over by the bar they had right there, and they had a bag of ice. And I set my laptop in the bag of ice to cool it down. And we had to keep like pushing back the start of the show. It was right before the show started too.
Yeah, no, I remember
we hadn't
walking.
even started the show.
I remember walking up to you guys right there at production. I was just kind of like, and we weren't running behind. We were running at a decent time. It was just, you know, I was
it made
just
us like
checking
30
in.
minutes late because of that.
30 minutes, that's decent for me. But yeah, no, I
He
was.
said I'll take it.
Yeah, no, I just remember being like, just checking in, be like, how's everything going? And then you had your thing on the ice. I was like, oh crap. Like
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
man, it was all bad.
I thought we were just going to go without sound that day. I was fully prepared for it.
That's why. What about you?
Whew. Most stressful show day. This is a hard one because there's so many of them.
Yeah.
But probably when probably Mania weekend. It was the first ever Mania weekend we did. And we booked those two British kids.
Oh, bro.
Man,
Was that at Cal Dental or the dental?
Yeah, it was at K&M.
Yep,
So,
K&M
so what's funny is, so these little fuckwads come to me talking. Yeah, fuckwads. Yeah. So they come to me talking about, can we have a spot at the Mania weekend? And mind you, I'm getting slammed with messages.
Yeah.
But I saw, I gave them the extra chance because they were international, and not only that, I used to work in the UK. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll give them a chance. So I think we send Mr. Pissoff to go get them.
From the airport?
Man.
Oh, man.
to this day, Mr. Pissoff, I need to know what happened on that car ride.
Shout out to Mr. Pissoff. We need to invite him on so he can tell that
I
story.
need to know.
Mr. Pissoff, we're going to get him next week. Let's
But
try
the
to
thing
get
is,
him.
I don't even think it was the car ride. I think what happened was them boys got to that venue and they realized, like, this is Compton, Mania. Like, this is, like, we're in the middle of Rosecrans and Wilmington. Like, and I think they felt, and it was also outdoors. It was raining, and they also, what they were bitching to me about was they wanted to make another booking. So they wanted me to schedule the whole show around there, and this is a pet peeve of every promoter on a show day, is when you double book and they got to schedule the whole thing around you. Like they literally just find you to be the biggest asshole for that.
Yeah.
And they won't say it. They won't outright say it. It's just so many people do it now. They don't want to acknowledge it, but they fucking all talk shit about you when you do that. Just so you know. But
True.
But,
Facts.
but
100%.
But when it comes to that incident, they tried to they tried to do that to me, and I said no. So they're like, okay, fine. So they show up, and they ask me again where they're at, and I told them, like, your spot is your spot. That's where it was. So what happens is, I kind of that they're like, okay, fine. So I leave. I'm going back to put together the rest of this show, and now it's like it's getting to showtime. Like, I think the first match had started, and I forget who was in it. It was those poor kids from Vegas. They're just like, hey, where's our opponents at? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, they're like, yeah, our opponents, like, they're not here. So I'm like looking around for them, and I'm just over here. I'm like, and I'm just thinking, it's like, mind you, we're not in the best part of town. We're not, and it's also just the fact that these kids ain't from here. They kind of just up and vanish. That's what they said. They were going to 7-Eleven. That's what they said to me, those little fucking lying pieces of shit. They said, we're going to 7-Eleven. We'll be right back. So I'm thinking these guys just went and vanished somewhere in the streets. I'm thinking, oh, shit.
In Compton.
Yeah, in Compton. I'm just like, oh, shit. 2 white kids on top of that? Fuck. Like, I'm like...
Tourists.
Yeah, of course, on my watch. Like, so, that shit just... And I just remember stressing so hard about that. Because I'm just saying... And I remember, like, messaging them. I'm just like, look...
Pull that microphone in front of you.
I just remember messaging them through Instagram, just being like, look... I don't give a shit if you dipped out. I just need to know you're alive. Mm-hmm. Because a few people were freaking out.
This is a wellness check.
Yeah, like a few people were freaking out. Like, it caused, like, it wasn't just me. Like, there was a lot of people that were asking me throughout the night about them. And then I saw them, I saw pictures of them by accident. I was just scrolling the feed after the show later that night, and I saw them.
Another show.
Yeah, they went to another show, and I was like, okay, well, at least they're alive. So,
But that sounded like a pretty stressful situation.
But that pissed me off. Yeah. So, but that's the thing though. Like, if I really went through stressful situations at shows, like, I would be here all fucking night. So that's man. Like,
same, bro. Same.
Literally. How about you? You're the man in charge, man.
Man. I've had a lot of stressful. Same thing. I
Your
think,
stress comes from me.
I think one of the ones that stand out. Shout out to Andre Spicer. He had got us at the Douglas Dollar High for our second year anniversary, and I think you wasn't here. You was overseas, right?
Yep.
So that was the night Sean became the champion, and very emotional night because he had just lost his father, and so like a couple of days before, I get up in the morning, laying right next to my wife, and she says, "Babe, I had a dream," and I'm like, "Yeah, well, what's your dream, my love?" She said, "Don't get the screen, don't get the big screen." And I looked at her like with the most, what are you talking about? This is the second year anniversary. We about to get the big screen. We bringing the big screen to Compton. We finna do this. What you mean? And, you know, I was just like, how dare you even mention such a thing? We bringing all our guns. What we talking about? And so we get ready to set up. Now, have in mind, this event, it was a free event, but the big screen was going to promote our After Dark event that we were going to do, and we were going to sell tickets. Like, we were going to sell tickets for this thing that we were going to do. And we set up the promo videos. They was all ready to go, lock and load. We set up the ring. Everything is going good. Then all of a sudden, now have in mind,
windy.
Yes. We were on the third.
Them Santa Anas.
We were on the third
on the roof.
level.
Yep.
Third level of the parking structure. And the wind just started taking the tents and throwing them off the roof. Just poof, 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 poof. And it was insane. So now we scrambling to get all the tents. Some of the tents then broke. Like it is just.
Bro, the screen almost fell on top of me.
Man.
I was like right up underneath
That was
it.
you that it almost hit?
Yeah.
No, so because for years, because like there were a lot of witnesses to that, but for years, so people always said, yes, the screen almost fell on someone.
Yeah.
That was
me.
no.
You and that kid, right? It was a
There was
kid
a kid
too.
right there too.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, bro.
Oh, no.
And have in mind, because there's no dressing rooms up there, so I go all the way on the other side to like kind of change my clothes real quick, and my back is turned. All of a sudden, you feel, bam!
Oh, you just hear the fucking.
The whole parking structure shook.
Man.
Oh, it shook the. Ooh.
And
That's how heavy it was.
Ooh.
Man, bro, I turned around.
Because they had already put it all together. It was all one piece.
Bro, like I was freaking the whole show calling the match. I am pissed. I am pissed. And all I hear is my wife.
that was before the show even started. So you still got to do the show.
Yeah, you gotta do the full card. Yep.
So now, not only did we not make no money there already,
You're out of money at that point.
we out of money.
You're minus.
And we can't even promote the After Dark situation. It was a straight kill. It was just,
Yeah.
it was, oh man, bro. Like I can tell you another time too, being at Don Quixote's. Like this was I think this was your first
was
situation. My mom had was really sick. She was going through it. I'm stressed about that. The money. Bro, my money froze up. I had to tell everybody, give me like 2 weeks to pay you.
Oh no,
because
that was the show before I started.
Okay.
I remember that though.
That right there, because you got to tell your bank, like when you moving money, you got to call your bank and tell them, hey, I'm finna be moving some money. Because when they start seeing you move money, they looked at it as fraud and shut the money down, bro. That was embarrassing.
Ugh.
Embarrassing. Like, this wrestling thing ain't for the weak, bro. I mean, I didn't have multiple moments where I was like, yo, forget it. Like, I'm over this. Like, I'm done with this. But
And you just came into this,
Man.
Like, you just came into
Man.
it. Like,
man, but you know, honestly, I think the best thing is I got amazing people around me. My wife, my grandma. I mean, the people that's in this room right now. Even if I tried, they not gonna let me. So. Man, this wrestling thing, bro, it'll have you bleeped up, dog.
no, it takes a lot out of you, you know, and that's where you sit and ask yourself sometimes, especially in the play. And I think that it's actually very important for every wrestler, I think it should just be the coming of age moment where you have to run your own show. I think once all of you run your own event, you realize just how much you don't know about the business. And you're going to start having a much more, there's going to be a much higher level of empathy for every promoter that you work for, because, man, they are going through it, all of them. You know, and we really do ask all the time, is it worth it? You know, few of them are actually making money. That's the other thing wrestlers, they hype themselves up a little too much over, because if we were going to start negotiating prices like with gates and stuff like that, if it was to go back to that, a lot of these conversations would be looking different, especially in SoCal.
Yeah, because
especially in SoCal.
Again, a promoter got to fit the bill, but who's actually drawing?
Yeah,
that's something you got to look at. When I was doing comedy, we had to sell 10 tickets. And if you don't sell 10 tickets, you ain't getting on the stage. Or if you do, by the time you get on the stage, everybody gone. And that's one thing Bernie Mac said in his book. He said a lot of times people get into entertainment and they think it's more about entertainment, but it's 10% entertainment, 90% business. It's about how many asses can you get in those seats and who's actually going to drive and come out and pay for parking to come see you do your thing.
And also that's something, guys, that's going to change if you approach promoters with that mindset. If you start talking about asses and seats over how good you are in the ring, I guarantee you conversations will be a whole lot different. Because we get thousands of videos of matches of guys. Like, trust me, I have enough wrestlers that are trying to come work for us. Like, we need people that move the needle and that make the difference, because I think that the way wrestling is going, because our friend Cam here just brought up the territories earlier, I think we are slowly but surely reverting back to a territory-like system. That doesn't mean WWE is going to shrink back down to being a New England thing, but they're going to slowly just lose a little bit more influence over the years, and people are going to be more focused on what's going on locally. So I think that the more you pour into something locally, the more you're actually going to benefit 5-10 years from now.
And another thing, I think wrestlers need to prioritize, after you do your match, don't just go to the next show. Talk to these fans that came out. They can become your fans. Like, say hello, how are you doing? How was your day? And if you heel or baby face, you don't always have to be a heel.
Build
at
followings.
The end of the show. Like, talk to people. Like, that's how you're going to be able to build your brand. What's going to make a promoter excited is when they see, like, yo, these people, they really came from this. They really came to see this guy. My wife literally asks people when they come in, who you coming to see? Because she be telling me, like, hey, babe, so-and-so, ain't nobody coming to see them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I know this person.
Ain't nobody coming to see you.
Hey, for real. Hey, look, some real, listen, because here's the thing. I'm drinking real
coming
tea.
To see the temptation.
Exactly. You know,
to see the temptation.
Right.
You know, like for real, like you really got to think about that. Like, who's coming to see you? I don't care how many sharpshooters you can do.
Yep.
I don't care about how many shooting stars or what's a off the top rope suplex, tombstones.
And a lot of people, they don't got nobody coming because they not friendly. Like we just said.
Exactly.
If they not talking to people, if they not, you know, like I said, it's. You can be that monstrous heel, right?
Yeah.
But still, you got to get people to come out and want to watch you be that monstrous heel.
Yeah.
Come on,
so you
man.
still got to be likable to not be liked.
Exactly. and if they really don't like you, they not even finna come see you. So if they don't like you, but they come see you, they like you. They just like to hate you. But if they hate you,
Ooh, I can't stand him, but let me buy my ticket.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what you call that X-Pac heat. You don't want X-Pac heat.
Yeah. But I think this is dope. I think we did it for the culture of Comptonmania today. I think this was pretty much dope. Make sure, listen, make sure you like, subscribe, and share innovative.culture. I know that's your line, Cam. But make sure you guys, it helps the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you like that. Show us some love. Will Z, give us some comments. Talk to us about different subjects that we talked about. Let us know what you think about it. Let us know if you think we tripping. You know what I'm saying? Comment. Let us know what's up. Yeah, and we'll keep it going like that. Anything y'all want to say?
No, we're looking forward to seeing all of you on March 21st at our next event, the Watts Culture Fest at the WLCAC.
Yes,
Beautiful
sir.
Watts. It's going to be the Visionaries and the Shady Boys in faction warfare. We got some other matches going on too, so it's going to be a good time.
I think SOS is pulling up.
SOS and we're gonna have a talk. So we're gonna see what's going on. So yeah, So
yes,
yeah,
sir.
Looking forward to it.
Alrighty, and also this Saturday, well, wrestling from Burbank. Right?
Oh yeah, wrestling for Burbank this Saturday. That'll probably be passed by the time this airs out. Yeah, but
February 15th.
Yeah, 15th of February. We'll be having that footage up. Our friends over there at WFB. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, and it's your man Deshaun Showtime Watkins.
It's your boy Ignorant Shiloh Greaves.
Cool ass Cam, the coolest motherfucker on the planet.
Will Z.
Come.